Okay, hello everyone and welcome to another Randomised Gaming live stream. I am your host for this Randomised Gaming stream, as always, Random Gamer Riven, the editor of Randomised Gaming. So tonight's live stream, seeing as Capcom have recently released their Arcade Stadia collection on PS4, Xbox, Switch, all the modern consoles. We have actually played it. I was debating whether to actually do that towards the end of the stream, maybe like in the end of the week or something, but I don't know if we can fit it in, but maybe. The Stadia one's quite a nice, the Arcade Stadia is a really nice collection, but instead I thought I'd take a look at one of the older ones just to see some of the games that you can get on some of these older collections that aren't yet on Capcom Arcade Stadia. Strangely, if you actually go through across all the collections, there is quite a few Capcom games that are not on many. There are a couple due to license IP issues, and I'll cover a few of them in tonight. So there's some that Capcom have to get additional licenses, so if they were to be sold, they need to be sold individually. You have the games like the Marvel games, X-Men Children of the Atom, UN Squadron, Cadillac vs Dinosaurs, Alien vs Predator, Dungeons & Dragons. Although Aliens vs Predator was on the Capcom's Arcade at Home stick relatively recently. And also, you can still buy Dungeons & Dragons on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, I believe. So whether there'll be a newer version as well. But let's actually hop to it. And before I do anything, I'm actually going to take a look at... So one of the things Capcom Classics Collection 2 included was a special version of Quiz and Dragons, where they changed and added in some questions related to the actual Capcom. Interestingly, Quiz and Dragons, the questions are actually getting a bit out of hat and old these days, so a lot of people wouldn't know them, so you would end up cheating a bit. But let's jump into it anyway. But this is a special version that had Capcom questions, although one or two of these Capcom questions are actually wrong because Digital Eclipse didn't know enough about Capcom. So let's go into the start game. So do you get control options? So, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Gotta remember that one. 4, okay, that makes sense. Can't actually stretch the video picture. I can also enlarge it. Do default. Let's do the ninja. And this has that classic sort of Capcom music as well. Oh, I love these 90s arcade games. Didn't see Quiz and Dragon around too much. So I need 2 points. Who is the final boss in Street Fighter? Well, it's actually Vega, but I'll assume it's M. Bison. Because Vega is his actual name. So this is where you start getting questions that relate to which versions. Yeah, I've left it in aspect. I think this is aspect, but I can stretch it as well a bit. It's a totally full screen. You use the magic star. It's William Birkin's Sherry Birkins.
Question 2.
Mega Man 8 was released on which anniversary of the series? It was the 10th. I'm a bit of a Capcom fan, as you'll be able to tell from all the questions I can get right. But this is a special version, so... The actual Quiz and Dragons, I think a lot of people now would be like, this question's like from the 70s. Or the 80s. Admittedly, I think some will be from the period as well, so it'll be from an American like TV show. How many secret missions did Devil May Cry 3 have? None. 12. Okay, I didn't know that one. The game Yo Noi featured an advertising character from which food franchise? McDonald's.
Question 3.
Send red counter gems. Dan.
Question 4.
In Viewful Joe, who owns the Movie Land Hotel? Captain Blue? Hulk Davidson. Do you give up? No.
Question 5.
What is the most effective weapon to use on Krauser? The knife.
Question 6.
Resident Evil 4, shooting all 15 males in the farm and Sarah, she earns what? Was it Broken Butterfly? Punisher with upgrade.
Question 7.
In Strider, what is the Grandmaster's last name? Is it Uberus? Maya.
Question 8.
In Maxwell, which move causes blades to spring up from the ground during down strike? Ring of... Let's do Ring of Pain. Other player can join. So you think you can handle my questions?
Question 1.
Who fights with a bird in Capcom vs Nakamura?
Question 2.
Which game first allowed Mega Man to charge up energies for stronger attack? Okay, I assume they're going to have the NES version, so it's Mega Man 4. Not the Game Boy one, which is Mega Man 3. Resident Evil, what was Jill's moniker? It was the Master of Unlocking, I think.
Question 4.
In Devil May Cry, who is Dante's brother? It's Virgil. Oh, you get cheats for doing this one. So... Let's do one. Beast Mountain. Prepare for in-master. Points need 1. If you answer my question, I'll let you take a rest here, okay?
Question 1.
Which of these characters made a cameo appearance in Final Fight 2? Chun-Li. Chun-Li did.
Question 1.
Which of the following is not a real Final Fight? Mighty Final Fight, Street Fighter, Final Fight Justice.
Question 2.
How many playable characters were in Street Fighter 2? There were 8 in the original Street Fighter 2. That should say in the
Question
original
3.
Street Fighter 2. In Darkstalkers, holding which button after winning gives Morrigan an alternative pose? I thought they all did light punch. Medium kick.
Question 4.
What was the first Puzzle Fighter game? Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo.
Question 5.
Which game is the first to pit Mega Man against his brother Proto Man? It was Mega Man 3.
Question 6.
Which Capcom game featured the elusive use of a huge joystick with pedals? Steel Battalion. You defeated the Blob! There's my Capcom knowledge. This is actually quite a good one because this one's... I think all they did was change the text in the ROM basically, but it's a nice change. Prepare for troll!
Question 1.
What's the name of the ruthless biotech umbrella?
Question 2.
What can Dr. James Marcus control? He can control leeches. I've actually got quite a lot of but they must have done, this is quite a late one, so 3, you've unlocked one of the following cheats, 3 wonders in vulnerability. Yes, the only downside, when you unlock awards in this, it pauses the arcade. Which colour are Cody, what colour are Cody's pants in Final Fight? And technically colour is spelt like an American, but his pants are blue.
Question 4.
Devil May Cry came from the initial development of which... Devil May Cry 3 came from the initial development of which game? I have no idea. Evil Joe. Resident Evil 4.
Question 5.
The girl kidnapped in the original fight is what relation to Hanger? She is his daughter.
Question 6.
What game first allowed you to look X's partner Zero as a playable character? Mega Man X3. Capcom, you do not know your own answers. Mega Man... Digital Eclipse really needed to research this stuff. What is the magical phrase that Joe shouts if he transforms into Beautiful Joe? Henshi Agogo. Henshi Agogo. It's Astral Agogo, baby. Which of these games is Akuma not? Which of these games is Akuma not playable? Okay, so Super Street Fighter 2. Pocket Fighter, because that's not an actual game. No, he is playable in. Oh, Super Street Fighter 2. Yes. Who is the youngest person on Star Team Bravo? Rebecca Chambers. Yes. So he. Yeah, someone obviously didn't do their research on some of these questions. Zero is playable in Mega Man X3 as a side character. There's actually a Viewful Joe question, which is the same problem they asked you when
Question 1.
his girlfriend was first playable. What are the circular pieces in puzzle fighters called that break your blocks? I think it was counter gems. Crash gems.
Question 2.
Who is the master of unlocking in Resident Evil? Jill Valentine. We actually had a flip of that question.
Question 3.
Which of the following characters is unlockable in Strider 2? Strider hear you? Is it Strider Hen? Okay, that one I didn't know.
4.
Which character is not playable in the console version of Final Fight Guy? Cody. And Guy is not playable in the console version of Final Fight.
Question 5.
How did Sadler control people in Resident Evil? Las Plagas parasites. Prepare for in-master point.
Question 1.
Increase the player's life bar. I think it's red orbs. Blue orbs. Oh.
Question 2.
Which playable character is not playable in the console version of Final Fight Guy? Oh, we just had this one, Cody. So you made it this far, but if you can't answer my questions, I'll charge you to the bone.
Question 1.
Who was never playable in the Street Fighter Alpha series? DJ, Yang, Guy, Marquet. Yang, correct.
Question 2.
Although I think that might be wrong now, as Resident Evil 3 was... In Resident Evil 3 it was Barry Varth. Yin or Yang, one of them is not playable right now. Which Street Fighter character can reflect fireballs? Which Street Fighter character can reflect... Rise.
Question 4.
What is the name of the wind element weapon in Onishima? Ooh. Shinpu? I had a feeling that was wind. Magic Sword, Sage Select. Not that I'm going to use any of these cheats, but I just thought, which is the starring world in Mega Twins? Which is the starting world any of these?
Question 6.
In Puzzle Fighter, what are your brief skits called between some CPU matches? It's either interludes or intermissions. Let's go with intermissions.
Question 7.
Which of these professions was never taken up by Mike Hager? Firefighter. Firefighter. I feel like I should do full playthrough on this one, but I won't for now, and we'll move on to one of the others.
Question 1.
How did Sadler control people in Resident Evil? He used their last plague as parasites. Needs to be more questions, I feel.
Question 2.
What does Onishima mean in Japanese? Onimush. I think it's Demon's Warrior. Just unlike the new Capcom Stadia, this one actually had...
Question 3.
Who is the final boss in the first Darkstalkers? It's Pyro. Jeddah is the later one. Pyron.
Question 4.
What is the last level in the Speed Rumblers? Now I know this because I was playing it earlier and it's Zap Town. You defeated the Black Pudding! You found a treasure box and you got a healing potion. Recovered 1 point of vitality. Ah. Oh, I wanted to go the other way.
Question 1.
What does the yellow herb do in Resident Evil 4? I think it cures poison? Or was it increase max health? Increase max health. Yeah, red increase. In Monster Hunter, how many times can you carve up from Lang Shun Lung? Let's go for 12, I mean. That was purely a guess, I didn't know that one. In Strider, what was the name of the Grandmaster Space Station? Don't tell you that, Third Moon. Oh, I was hitting Third Moon just as I ran out of time. How many super moves does Blanca have in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo? Well, that's a bit subjective. 3.
Question 5.
Oh, super moves. What game are you playing right now? Capcom Quiz and Dragons.
Question 6.
Which of the following characters is unlockable in Nishima Blade Warriors? I'll take a stab at Bishamon. Mega Man?
Question 7.
Which of the following is not one of the ride armors found in the Mega Man X games? Rabbit, Mustang, Frog, Chimera, Mustang.
Question 8.
How many required the longest charge up time? Which move requires the longest charge up time in Championship Edition? I think Garl's Flash Kick and Bison's Scissor Kick.
Question 9.
In Viewful Joe, Alistair has moves similar to which other Capcom character? Alistair. Not done. I'm gonna go with Mega Man. Oh. Let's just do one more shot. Quite like this one.
10.
Which Mega Man X title did this not direct? We didn't direct 3.
Question 11.
How much time did you have to defeat Dr. War in Mega Man 0? 4 minutes. 120, yeah, that was pure guess.
Question 12.
According to Rio's character profile page maker, what does he dislike? I think it's chopsticks. Spiders.
Question 13.
Who is the final boss in Avengers? Go with Ginzu. One last shot on this one, then I'll jump into one of the other games.
Question 14.
In Street Fighter 3, what does taunting 3 times the character Q accomplish? Nothing. Defense up by 30%.
Question 15.
Although Q isn't in Street Fighter 3, he's in Third Strike. Judging by his background artwork, where did Ken move to between Street Fighter 2 and 3? San Francisco to New York.
Question 1.
They are blue.
Question 2.
In Street Fighter, who is Ryu Master? Shenlong? No, it's Goken. Now, is that going to be right? It's got to be Goken. Shenlong is the mistranslation. In Resident Evil, who's the captain of the Stars team? Albert Wesker.
Question 4.
Who is the secret playable character in Devil May Cry 2? Trish Spartan. I'll go with Virgil. Oh, Trish is playable.
Question 5.
Oh, yes. In Devil May Cry, who is Dan's father? It is Sparda. We get a time bonus as well. If you answer my question, I'll let you take a rest here.
Question 1.
Who is the only Street Fighter 2 character who can knock down the enemy with his ducking fierce? Ducking fierce. I think it's blank.
Question 2.
I think it's Gold Dragon. Red Dragon.
Question 3.
Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighters. I'd have thought this guy would have moved on. Yep, recover 3 vitality points.
Question 1.
Okay, how do you perform Vega's backflip in Street Fighter Championship Edition? I think it's tap back twice correctly.
Question 2.
Where did the first Resident Evil take place? Arkley Mountains.
Question 3.
What type of character does Joe transform into and becomes Beautiful Joe? I think it's a Sentai.
Question 4.
Which scientist discovered and replicated Mega Man X? That's Dr. Kane. It's like Dr. Jackson.
Question 5.
Can
Question 6. Question 7. Question 8.
Okie dokie, so let's do one last. I'm not going to continue anymore on this one, I'll jump into the other games. If you have any suggestions for any games you want to see on this collection, do let me know. This collection has in it 1940s 1, Avengers, Black Tiger, Block, Captain Commando, Echo Fighters, Knights of the Round, The King of Dragons, Last Duel, Mega Twins, Magic Sword, Quiz and Dragons, Side Answer, Speed Rambler, Street Fighter. The Infinite Rocket Launcher. Is it 1,000,000? As I thought, you are one of our brave champions. Please come in and relax. Oh, 4 vitality points now. Yeah, my Capcom knowledge is actually pretty good. But this is, as I said, this is a special version that is specifically for the Capcom Classics collection too. In Strider, what was the first country to be invaded by the Grandmaster? It's Kazakui, especially like some form of Russia.
Question 2.
In the original Resident Evil, who built the mansion where the game is set? I believe it's Oswald Spencer. Another cheat unlocked.
Question 3.
What colour is Guy's outfit in Final Fight? He is wearing red. Well, actually, it's more like an orangey red, but again.
Question 4.
Which Japanese actor is Samosuke Urashima modelled after? I think it's Takahashi Kenashiro.
Question 5.
In Onishima and Japanese legends, who is the warlord who made a pact with the Demon Lord? I think it's Nobunaga Oda, who's a historical figure from Japan. Yeah, he was seen as someone who went over power control, though he's not quite. He's often depicted in games as being quite a villain. I don't think he's quite a villainous. From what I've seen, is that period in Japan, they were all fighting one another. You were present.
Question 1.
Which of the following World War II games was released first? 1942. And 1940 XX is not a World War II game. That should have been which of the following... which of the following... of the 19... you answer my questions, I'll let you take a rest here. Oh, I'm getting a good run at this point. You use the magic scroll. Features a cat. Do villains grab that sides? Oh,
Question 1.
which of the following is not a real Final Fight game? Again, we had this one. Final Fight Justice. Tiger Road timer off. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your Capcom knowledge. I'll finish in a sec, unless people want to see me play further, but I don't think I'll play through all the way in this one. This is quite a good one just to sort. I get a really good, sort of really lucky. The elf, she's another bonus round.
Question 1.
What is the name of the cage of throwing darts on Onishima? Okay, so I'd go with kunai. Cades? Yeah, kunai. I was going to say kunai is sort of the blade. Now, I would assume the women in the game tend to be depicted using the kun. I don't actually need any more health at the minute. Prepare for In-Master.
Question 1.
Grandmaster in Strider says Strider will never leave Eurasia alive.
Question 1.
How many mains have been in main series? It'll be 1. No, it'll be 8.
Question 2.
Who is the master unlocking Jill Valentine? We've had that one before.
Question 3.
The Steel Battalion Pacific Rim forces are battling who? I think it's none of the above. Hai Shaidao, okay.
Question 4.
Which Guardian of Neo Arcadia sacrificed his life in an attempt to stop Zero? I think it's Shadow. Phantom.
Question 5.
In Resident Evil Outbreak, what's the name of the bar that the character starts in? Let's go with TJ's bar. Ooh, Jay's bar.
Question 6.
Which of the following is not a live-action movie based on a Capcom game? Street Fighter Alpha.
Question 7.
Which French actor lent his voice and likeness to Jean Reno? This wasn't Jeff Archer, and I'm not sure. Which final character is also playable in Saturday Night? It is Hagar.
Question 9.
In Resident Evil 0, what is Billy Koner's form profession? He is a Marine.
Question 10.
Which of the following characters appeared in Star Gladiator and Marvel vs. Capcom 2? That is Hayato Kanzimiku. He's playable in both. Actually, I'm invulnerable cheating Varth. It's actually quite a nice way to do the unlocks, actually, after the so there's unlocks in game by doing so well in this one, and then you obviously get the cheats via. In Puzzle Fighter, which character manufactures herself as a magic spell on paper? That is Lin Lin, who is Heizuko's sister. Should be Darkstalk's question, really. Where do you want to go? 1 or 2? Let's go to 1. Destroyed Town. Feeling brave. Let's try and take on the giant. Prepare for fire, giant. Question 1. In Final Fight, which fight? Please. What can you pick up? Game. Yeah, his chewing gum. When fighting policeman boss Eddie E. What can you pick up to gain life?
Question 2.
Who was the youngest member of Bravos? As we said before, it is Rebecca Chambers.
Question 3.
In the handheld version of Pocket Fighter, what was the bonus mode? Handheld version of Pocket Fighter. Card battle. Oh no, card battle. That I didn't realise. What does the hardware abbreviation CPS stand for? Capcom Play System.
Question 5.
What is the light kick button called in Street Fighter? Light kick. I think it's short. That's not really a term.
Question 6.
Where did Resident Evil 2 take place? It took place in Raccoon City.
Question 7.
In Resident Evil 3, what is the name of the hulking menace hunting Jill Valentine? That is Nemesis.
Question 8.
In the Mega Man X series, which of the following Street Fighter moves cannot be obtained? Sonic Boom, Hadouken, Sonic Boom. But yeah, the fact you have to buy the vulnerability cheat in the Capcom Stadia arcade and you get a load of them if you play this special version of Quiz and Dragons. So this is basically Quiz and Dragons, but they changed the text. So the questions are more relevant for modern gamers because a lot of them are sort of 90s questions. I might put on the original Quiz and Dragons later. But if you guys have if you have a look at the Capcom Classics Collection 2, Volume 2, I will be picking a selection of games in a second, so let me know which ones you want to see. In which game is Dante not playable? Viewful Joe 2, Onishima 3. Game is Dante
Question
not playable. Which of these Street Fighter characters never combed his hair during Dan Guile Dan.
Question 3.
You'll never leave Eurasia. We've had that question.
Question 4.
My Capcom. Which street is Raccoon City Hospital located in Resident Evil? Ooh. Let's go for Armadillo Boulevard. Ooh. Do you give up? Yep, I'm going to swap games. So, guys, I will actually exit there. Unless people want to see me play through to the end, give a shout if you want to quickly see the play to the end. On this one, I think I will exit there, though. Unless you guys really badly want to. So I'll finish there and let me know which of the other Capcom games. So that was the special Quiz and Dragons. I actually did that for a bit of fun. I didn't think I'd be taking 45 minutes. Yeah, that's quite a long run actually. We still weren't there yet. So that was the special version of Quiz and Dragons that's available in this set that unlocks all the hidden extras you see. So, and best you activate it by pressing, you'll see their circle. So we've got 1941, Avengers, Black Tiger, Blockbot, Captain Commander, Echo Fighters, King of Dragons. That should be the King of Dragons. Knights of the Round, Last Duel, Magic Sword, Mega Twins, Quiz and Dragons, Sidearms, Street Fighter, Strider, Super Street Fighter 2, The Speed Rumbler, 3 Wonder, Varth, Tiger Road and Varth. And quite a few of these: Tiger Road, 3 Wonder, Speed Rumble, Street Fighter, Sidearm, Quiz and Dragons, Magic Sword, Last Duel. These two as well, Echo Fighters, Blockbot, Black Tiger and Avengers aren't actually in new Capcom Stadia. So I think I'll pick Echo Fighters. This is a really good. Good shit. I think I'll save the special Capcom quiz to do a full video another day. But this is Echo Fighter, one of the classic. This was in '93. This is actually one of the most recentest games on the collection. I might also give the classic version of Quiz and Dragon to go as well. As always, if you're enjoying these streams, please do hit the like button. That is very much appreciated, everyone. But I'm, of course, your host, Random Gamer Riven, on behalf of Randomised Gaming. This is a brilliant game, Echo Fighters. I do hope it gets added to the collection. It does have an eco message, as you'll see. And a little tip, if you ever fancy playing retro collections on PS2, use a PS1 joypad. Because the PS1 joypad is digital and more responsive. Also, I didn't see Echo Fighters too much in the arcade, but it's a really, really good game. Now, I largely think this collection, as it was done by Digital Eclipse, basically used MAME, I think. It's got that classic Blinier filter that MAME seems to enforce as standard, so... So basically you upgrade by getting the power-ups or by getting 20 crystals. This is one of my favourite ones that's not probably one of my most favourite titles other than Knights of the Round, which isn't currently yet in the Capcom Arcade Stadia, although Knights of the Round is in the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle on PS4. So that one feels like it is on PS4, and I've already got the Beat 'em Up bundle. That is fantastic as well. But this is probably the biggest one on this PS2 collection, although the Quiz and Dragons is actually quite good fun. That Capcom version is actually very good fun. Although whether Capcom still have the code for that, that was done by Digital Eclipse. So, and there are a few incorrect answers on some of the questions that need updating. I think down, so I haven't got a particularly good weapon because I can't shoot some of the. Oh, I can. There's the first stage done. This actually is a really funny continue screen. I can't give up just yet. No. Another shot. Some rather intense flashing there. I must admit, this is a really, really good game, Echo Fighters. I do hope it gets added to the collection. I don't think the emulation in this earlier collection was quite right, because I think it was largely using MAME. So MAME at the time in the 2000s was getting a bit lackluster. Basically, MAME has improved in recent years because they were getting to a point where they weren't updating the emulation. They were just adding new games, and that fortunately came to an end where they started actually having to improve it, because MAME for a while started getting a reputation for being quite badly behind a lot of other emulators, and they were just adding games even if they didn't work. But this, I think this is a CPS2 game. It's 93. If it's a CPS1 game, it's probably one of the best looking ones. It really is a very good looking, really good fun shooter as well. And it's one you don't see that many Capcom fans speak of. It's a really, really good Capcom. I'll use one more credit and then I will swap games again. Obviously, there were a lot of people who wanted to carry on watching King of Dragons, looking at the amount of people who are watching it. If you do, you got to chat in the comments if you want me to stay doing something. Well, I fancy doing a change anyway. I might do that on a proper video though, seeing as I think that one's quite a popular one. A Capcom quiz version. I can at least get past this boss. This boss is actually tricky. Oh, they've changed the weapons as well. This one was also on the PSP version of this collection as well. But it's one of the few games that hasn't subsequently appeared on later collections. And it's actually one of Capcom's really better. It had quite an environmental friendly message as well, which in the modern day and age is very appropriate. I'm amazed I'm still here, actually. I thought I'd have... Oh, that's me out. Yep, I will let... No, I was going to quit there. Want to let the game over screen take effect, but... So if you have any suggestions, let me know, and I'll jump into the next game. So I might actually do a quick go on Tiger Road, which is one that we haven't seen. This is the most recent collection. It's pretty rare to be included in any collections after Tiger Road. It's a bit of an obscure one. It's sort of like a Ghosts and Ghouls follow-up. Basically, Ghosts and Ghouls kind of has two semi-sequels in the form of Trojan and Tiger Road, or Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts. The series has these two games that take on it. It's the sort of the equivalent of Sekiro Shadows Die Twice back in the old arcades. we've got to get... The time is running out. Ooh, just... Oh, that one actually damaged me. Okay, gotta remember that. Avoid the yellow gorge. Probably don't want to get... I'll stick with this weapon actually. But this bit's got unavoidable damage, that's for sure. Oh, don't tell me that was the... Raw. Go ahead and destroy. Okay. This is Blanca before his Street Fighter days. Gotcha. The music track for this is really good. Oh, is this one where you can't continue one? Yes, we can do. Okay, so that one damages me then. I can't attack up either. Actually, this one's actually pretty good. It's one I haven't really played that much, but it's actually... it's sort of a mix of Ghosts and Goblins with Kung Fu Master, so... Ah, I missed that health potion. Oh, that's... Really do the health potion route now, guys. Come on, game. Give me a health potion. Ooh. Just missed out on that one as well. The background art is fantastic in this one as well. This is such an early... Oh, just... Right, I'm beating him this time. Yeah, this is definitely the equivalent of Capcom's Dark Souls. Let's go. This is Dark Souls before Dark Souls. Nearly, nearly. It's definitely a quirky one, this, so hopefully this one will get added to Stadia. Honestly, how are you supposed to avoid damage with this guy? I want to beat him. This is... This one obviously ramps up the bosses. I might as well just go in for the all-out attacks. Because he just comes in and just devastates you with the long-range punches. And just hope I hit him enough times before he hits me. That's the tactic I'm going to use. Gotcha. Oh. So what do you do if you get that bonus stage? That's quite tricky, that's quite nice. So I've not played this one too much, so this is quite an interesting one. It's quite... Oh, that's the yellow one. And he was very tactically placed. Let's give it another go before I... So you don't see Tiger Road much from Capcom. As I said, this is... I mean, even this collection I think was my first proper experience of it. It's one of those games you probably won't even see on sort of... You probably wouldn't think to grab on something like Main. Or download on Main. It's definitely one of those arcade games that I think Capcom have quite long forgotten about. I think if it wasn't for this collection, we'd probably... So this is quite a nice one, actually. But yes, definitely tricky. Oh! Not sure which weapon I like the most. This one shows quite good, has a round spin, but it doesn't have the range. I'd probably been better at the boss with one of the other weapons because this one just doesn't have the range. I'm guessing this is the stronger one with the shorter range. Definitely getting that Ghosts and Goblins vibe. So red scroll. So, oh no, so the yellow gourd, which is upside down, damages your health badly. One last shot and then I'll swap game. Ah, the power increases your weapon range. Okay. So that means you've got to get to the first place. Ah, these are the Yin Yai spirits. These have appeared in a couple of games. Oh dear. They're a sort of Chinese ghosts. I can't remember actually what the name is. They basically appeared in my first recollection appearing in the game is no, I don't need dinner for a giant skull. All very tactically placed enemies to chow down. Do one last shot and then I'll swap games. You can probably show enough this one. It's quite a nice one. As I said, it's definitely one you don't see Capcom. It's basically there are a few games. I said there's this and Trojan are basically like semi sequels to Ghosts and Goblins. Okay, I don't like that weapon much. I'm too short. Oh. Oh, you really have got to go when that's not... Oh, that's the horrible damage you item. Chow down! Okay, let's jump to one of the others. So, a couple of these were in the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle. A couple of these are actually in the Capcom Arcade Cabinet collection from M2 that was done on the Xbox 360 and PS3 that's available via Backcat on the Xbox One. So the Xbox One actually is more collection. Same with Magic Sword. There was a collection known as Double Impact that got released on Xbox 360 and PS3, and that is also Xbox One compatible. Street Fighter's in the Anniversary collection as well, though the Anniversary collection is awful. Avengers in the... Avengers also in Black Tiger. Avengers and Black Tiger are both in the arcade cabinet one. I think I'll do Block because this hasn't actually been on anything since this came out, and I'm not sure how well this plays, this one. This is a bit of an odd one. And I'm actually playing the PAL version. This is one of the few games that actually supports progressive scan, but it does swap between resolutions as it's loading, which is a bit irritating. But yes, the PAL version for this does run at 60 Hz progressive scan. And some of these games do actually have a couple of options. So if I bring this up, so you get the game settings, get the video settings. So some actually have enhanced like that. Let's do the enhanced one. What do we want? The beginner's? Let's do the beginner's course. Not actually. Whoa, that is. That is very, very slippery. I will admit the controls for this one. Oh, and there's the classic Capcom sort of shuriken symbol. I think that's actually an enemy in Vulgus. In fact, it is an enemy in Vulgus, which is like one of Capcom's very first games. Not actually bad. Alleyway, Axley exit. I mean, even when Capcom were quite bad at copying other developers. They did occasionally make their own very good original games, but they did also copy a lot of developers, which a lot of people don't think realise. Eek, and that was the beginner course. Okay, I'll just finish the beginner course. Yeah, this one's a little bit slippery, I will admit. If I do that, you don't get smooth movements, they're quite heavy. You need to watch that. You do get quite it's a little bit hard to judge the rebound. One I'm just actually going to do. So I can literally give myself a bigger area and then I'll just stretch it a little. Don't stretch it too much. Now, annoyingly, this seems to have a bi-filter pass on it, so a linear. Basically trying to replicate interpollination you tend to get on TVs, but it doesn't quite get it quite right, especially not without the scan lines. I have to admit, next to no game, almost no game I've played tends to... None of the retro collections ever seem to get the sort of linear and interpollination stuff quite right. I'm guessing this one probably did a trackball or something in the arcade game. A lot of these ones tended to do. You should sometimes get the exit appear as well. Okay, round 5. So this is the basic round, so I suppose it's quite a good length for me to do it and then... Ooh. About there should do it. No. Doesn't give you the trajectory, the bounce there, so I think I probably should be quite close. With a nice palm tree motif before I start taking it to pieces. Oh, that was difficult to read. I thought it was going to bounce the other side. I see the numbers count down and then your back gets smaller, so you need to sort of get... And there we go, we complete the beginner's course. So yeah, that wasn't a great performance. Although the controls are a bit slippery in that one. Probably better if they were properly adapted to the an analog stick. You could probably spin it up and spin it down a bit more. This is actually quite slow to manoeuvre, I feel. Feels like they've got the way. Give me enough time, Capcom. Can't you spell my name Riv? Riv. Okay, let's have a quick look at the Super Street Fighter 2 collection. Super Street Fighter 2 on this collection. Or Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Oh, please don't tell me the card has crashed. Nope, it's still with me. Elgato is still with me. I was a bit concerned there. It might have... One thing I've noticed is for some reason the Elgato does not like the changes the way... Oh yeah, 3 wonders, which is 3 games, and that's actually a really good one. Hopefully that will appear again. Have a quick look at Super Street Fighter 2. Against my better judgment as well, Super Street Fighter 2 is known for being notoriously hard. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, although I have finished it, is known for being notoriously hard. Oh, this actually has the mediums on the... Hadouken! I believe this one, the suggestion was the difficulty was actually broken, but I don't think it was. I think it was more a case that Capcom during this period made all their games incredibly hard. So much so that they just weren't that... So I'll just use... Might as well use slow actually, it's not easier. Have they set up start correctly? And the difficulty was so hard it was notorious. It's one of the reasons Super Street Fighter Turbo was widely regarded as not very popular. So these just can absolutely... Basically the AI punishes you like mad. I think the Japanese version was slightly better, but... Now this one is available on the Capcom Arcade Stadia. Ironically, this version was actually the first, I think, one they used to play in tournaments because it was the first direct home port of the arcade version. So although the Saturn and PlayStation got renditions, this was the first rendition of the actual arcade game. And I think it was regarded... Incidentally, if you did that in a tournament, you got disqualified. And there's a couple of videos of people doing that. Yeah, as you see there on the easy difficulty, the AI is incredibly aggressive. There was some suggestion, beat any CPU, select old Sagat. That's a bit cheeky because beat the game. old Sagat was... old Sagat has a bit of a story. He wasn't... He may have been banned in some tournaments, but officially most tournaments had a gentleman's agreement that no one would play as him because he was regarded as the most powerful character. Now, this is the problem with this game, is that it reacts to inputs. So, basically, before I can even do a fireball, he's already up in the air. So if I do a fireball, he'll do that, and he will do it. You basically have to pull it off at point-blank range. But T-Hawk is notoriously brutal, and many a campaign player would have had him as their first opponent and got absolutely trounced. The difficulty in this game is just ruthless against the CPU. You basically, to win it, it's not that hard to beat once you know how, but basically just employ the cheapest tactics. It is just literally doing this at range. This is how you beat the CPU in this one. It's not fun. It's not good. Capcom revised the difficulty down in some of the later home ports as a result. Oh, damn it. But that's what I mean, you get these skin of the teeth fights. The AI doesn't respond to your animation, it responds to your inputs. And I just think Capcom were trying to make their game harder at this point, and it just backfired spectacularly. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, from what I recall in the arcade, was a bit of a flop. You rarely saw it in arcades, and then it quickly got pulled. It's one of those ones that, by the time it arrived, there's an era of Street Fighter where everyone was so fed up with it that no one bothered to play it. So Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo was that game. It actually affected the Alpha series badly. Everyone much preferred X-Men Children of the Atom at the time. So next to none of the arcade owners had... oh, come on, it's the thing, cheap throws like that. And next to no one actually had... Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo you saw a few times around. The Alpha series was just next to impossible to find in the arcade, certainly in the UK, because no one was playing Street Fighter at that point. Everyone had got a bit fed up with it. You see there, he's just responding. The AI in this is just totally uncompromising. Your streams sound like a pathetic war cry. Oh yes, and he made many users walk away from the arcade cabinet. I lost track of myself how many times. I don't think you can play as the default colour unless you play as the old version. Again, throws. I mean, that's the standard throw. He takes off a quarter of your health bar. You won't do that to him. There was some major issues with this. It's just chained combos together. You will get slaughtered. Zangief has said one of the easier opponents. T-Hawk is infamous for how difficult it is. I think T-Hawk... I tried to do a Dragon Punch there. I think T-Hawk's vulnerability, as you saw me earlier, was basically you pour him with fireballs. But basically you're getting chip damage, he's getting just insane amounts of damage on you. There, he's perfected me. I mean, your second opponent in the roster should not be able to devastate you, especially considering someone like me is a veteran Street Fighter who can normally 1cc these games with ease. I mean, I have actually 1cc'd this, but it's not fun. It's just resorting to the cheapest tactics going. Although strangely, I think the difficulty got easier. It's just a couple of characters like T-Hawk that just have the utterly broken AI. Nope, he's going to punish. And the thing is, he actually has, if you blocks your escapes, you literally can't see there. His timing is his frame perfect timing with some of the counters and the moves. It's the very worst in AI difficulty. So yeah, fly kick. He also seems to do more damage. So even if I do get combos in, he's going to do more damage. And again, he's also going to react to my inputs. So even when you're playing well, you get absolutely exhausted by it. One last shot before I jump. So there, he's respond. Again, he literally responded in between my gap period for and he's jumping over even the... This is one of the things, T-Hawk was actually quite a really nasty character because he didn't have... They made a few mistakes with his design. So like his jump back, if you block his T-Hawk thing, he should be incredibly vulnerable. Instead he can basically pin you. Oh. And the AI just responds ruthlessly. So basically I think it was fireballs at point blank range. So that way he can't respond to you. Sweet kicks. Basically you can't be at jump range when you do a fireball. You have to be... come in with that as a response. Should carry on doing the fireballs at close range. His AI is also... The AI in this is also very spasmodic. It just seems to do things very randomly. You'll get points where it will literally do nothing, and other times where it will use the same ruthless tactic on you again and again. You do sometimes get where they literally just freeze up. I really want to beat him, but I promise. So yeah, this is one of the reasons why no one played Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, because no one wanted to get there. Literally, you got your ass handed to you in the first fight in the arcade, which is why no one ever played it. And the Saturn and PlayStation versions reduced the difficulty heavily, so... Yeah, hi... Hexacade, George. Yeah, it's a great collection. I've been showing off a selection of games on it. Particularly the ones that were not included in the Arcade Stadia at the minute, which there are quite a few, so... There he goes with the throw. Yeah, there were quite a few flaws when it was this one. The radius. T-Hawk is probably one of the most unbalanced characters going. And I'm going to end it there. He's Zach Jet George. Oh, you actually played the championship? You... Bandicoot. Yeah, I think there are a couple of characters. Old Sagat as well, I know, is another tournament character who was largely frowned upon, and there was a sort of gentleman's agreement. They didn't originally play as him. So as I mentioned, we've got this collection's quite good because, as I said before, at the minute there's still quite a lot of games on here that aren't on the recent Capcom Stadia. So I'll actually show the Three Wonders, and this is actually quite a good way to get Three Wonders, as Three Wonders is a very expensive title. It was released on Sega Saturn, but these days the Saturn's version is very expensive to buy. You can call, okay, I'll call you George if you want. Apologies, I'm probably not going to get your first name pronounced correctly. I used to know one of the a tournament player used to play Street Fighter 2 in Alpha, and he basically said that he knew how old Sagat used to be, sort of in a gentleman's agreement. No one would play him because he was the most overpowered. Choose your game. You get Midnight Warriors, Quest for the Chariot. You get Chariot, which is the follow-on from Midnight Warriors. And you get Don't Push. The Saturn's version of this is very expensive these days. So we've got Midnight Wanderers, Chariot, and Don't Pull Action Puzzle. So hence why it's called Three Wonders. You technically get 3 games on this one. And Midnight Wanderers is absolutely fantastic. Again, it reminds you a bit of Ghosts and Goblins with this sort of design, but you actually get some fantastic animation. It really is a very good game, and this is a great way to play this arcade classic because the Saturn's version is literally just this version. I mean, literally is a straight arcade port. I don't think there's much new added into the Saturn's version of anything. But this is a really, really good shooter. It's one of those games that actually needs a bit more... doesn't get as much recognition, I think, from people as it should do. It really is a good arcade game. A good sort of run and gun, a good shooter, and a nice little puzzle game. It's called Three Wonders. So. Basically, if you want to play this, I highly recommend this version over the Saturn's one now, just purely as the collection is really nice. Yeah, no, we've already got the Taito Legend games. We've got 4 of them. There's technically 6, so we should try and get the last couple at some point. The 2 Japanese ones are actually different. Well, the 4 Japanese ones are different games to the 2 Western ones. And the Xbox version actually has different games and a slightly different emulation as well to the PS2 version for the second game. The second game is probably better on the PS2, although they each had different games. Yeah, if you've never played Midnight Wanderers, this really is a good game. I think this is the boss, first boss. I mean, the art style in this one is absolutely fantastic. Hopefully this will be added to the Capcom Stadia, Arcade Stadia, sooner rather than later. I know they said more games are coming. I'd really want to see UN Squadron. Yeah, the Sega Genesis collections, they've all been pretty good, although the earlier ones aren't as good as the later ones. I think the earlier ones have now been surpassed by some of the later ones, which have more. So yes, like Ghosts and Goblins, when you take damage in Midnight Wanderers, you actually lose your clothing. How am I getting? A bit close. frame out. You've got to, although it's worth taking your time in this one to eliminate the enemies, you can't be too slow because you don't have a lot of done with a huge amount of time. I've got a minute. So I've got to be relative. You've got to push forward slow but surely, I think. Okay, boss. Oh. Yes, this is the boss who's sort of the predator now. A bit like a predator from this one's definitely, this is the first point of the game where you get a bit of trouble. Okay, that was a bit tighter. Stage 1 quit. I must admit, I don't think the emulation is quite perfect in this collection, so a more modern collection would be better. So it would be great to see, if Capcom's watching this, it would be great to see this one in the Arcade Stadia. Yeah, the PS2 I think at the minute is still relatively cheap to buy. There's not too much that's going to be hugely worth that much on the PS2. I think there'll be a few that'll be a bit more expensive, but most of them will be because of the numbers. Some of the newer consoles, the value of them isn't going to be that high, so... This is the sub-boss, I think. Gotta watch that bounce. I don't like the current weapon I've got, actually. Not to rush things. Wait sure it's vulnerable, and then go. And there we go. Yeah, I've not played many of the Atari collections on PS2, so I have to see what they're like actually. It was sort of a mix. Some of the collections were a little bit mixed bag. I think the PS2 had some good, overall, some very good collections on it, with a lot of good games. But the one thing with them is the emulation isn't as good as it could be, because at the time, emulation has improved hugely. with some of the more modern systems. Certainly MAME has now spent a lot more time improving their emulation as well. So there's Hyper. Okay, I'll have another quick credit and then I'll jump into the next game. Actually, no, I'll restart this one, reset game. As there's 3 games on it, I'll quickly go through each of them on it. Actually, 85 is probably about the most. I must admit, the Atari collection I didn't really look at but the Capcom ones are really good. We've got the Namco PS1 collection, which is quite a nice one. So this is the second game, Chariot, and this actually follows directly on from the end of Midnight Wanderers, where you obtain the chariot basically, and then it's up to you to defeat, I think, the sun enemy. So you'll see a lot of the similar sort of design things. It's a really interesting game, the fact they had 3 games. And it's one of those few arcade games that actually held up as a sort of home game purely because it was 3 separate games. So it's basically an arcade game that's sort of a collection, but then within a collection it means you technically have more games. So hopefully Capcom will bring this one to the Arcade Stadia, said sooner rather than later. They have said more games are coming, so... And there are quite a few arcade games that haven't appeared on any of the systems. So the modern 3D ones I don't think are well emulated, so they're not going to be... Because the collection, I'm pretty sure, is literally MAME. And there goes the first boss, which is a nice little shooting stage. Some great parallax scrolling there. This box, so far the boss is all... Oh, I got stuck. Let's exit and do the last of the games on this. Oh no, I should have reset. Oh, Oops-a-daisy. I should have reset this one. I think quite a lot of people were enjoying the Quiz and Dragons. I might jump into that later. Now, Varth, I am a big fan of. Yeah, I will do the last one, the 3 Wonders, because that's quite a nice little puzzle game. Hopefully the Elgato hole will hold up. Play each of the 3 games. Finish all 3 games. The 3 Wonders is a really quite nice title. So we've shown the other 2. This is the 3rd game. This is the only one in the collection that didn't quite... So don't push. The aim is to eliminate the enemies. Okay. Oh. Music is really quite good for this one, although the puzzles are a little bit, got to be, well, they're not tricky puzzles. I've got to be a bit more proactive, making sure I don't get taken out. Hence the name Don't Push. Okay, that was awful performance by me. It's amazing how quickly some games ramp up. Of like you get to one stage and it's like, yeah, let's ramp up the difficulty. Just one down. Okay, so round 2 cleared. So 3 in 1 throw. I see if that stuns them. Escape. Got him. There we go. We've got him crushed. This is a bit of an underrated one, Don't Push. It's interesting because it's probably seen as the slightly odd one in the collection. And I'm partly wondering if part of the reason they did is like they did this one and didn't feel it was good enough to stand on its own 2 feet as a game, so included it in the collection. So do you have any preferences to what game you'd like me to play next in the stream? How many of these guys can I get? So I just try and get them as quickly as possible, so... The dragons are really irritating. They know exactly... Okay, that's them down. That's another one down. Just only got 8 left, so yeah, there's quite a lot of enemies this one. Quiz and Monster fun game. Dragons. We looked at the Capcom version of the Quiz and Dragons. I might finish with that. I looked at it earlier, so I might do that one right at the end of the stream. Look at the I looked at the promotional Capcom version. I might do the actual version, although I think quite a few of the questions are going to be a little bit old hat for me. Oh, so close yet so far. Okay, right. But yeah, we actually quite a lot of people wanted to see the Quiz and Monsters one. I might do a playthrough of the Capcom version then. I'll just do a voiceover. I did voice it over though, so... Okay, so here we go. So I'll say Quiz and Dragons. I've done the Capcom special version, but I'll... So we got 1941, Avengers, Black Tiger, Block, Captain Commando, Echo King of Dragon, Knights of the Round, Last Duel, Magic Sword, Mega Twins, Quiz and Dragons, Sidearm, Street Fighter, Strider. I'll say the non-Capcom version of Quiz and Dragons for later. I've covered Mega Twins. I'll do Magic Sword, seeing as we haven't, and then I'll do Quiz and Dragons right at the end. Yeah, there's actually 2 versions of Quiz and Dragons on this one. You get the actual original arcade version, and there's a special Capcom version they did specifically for this collection that includes questions about Capcom. So I have a fondness for this, as this was one of the early SNES games. This was actually one of my early SNES games. Actually, the SNES version. The SNES version was actually very good. But I wouldn't say this was Capcom's strongest game. Now, this isn't available yet on the Capcom Stadia collection. It was, however, included in the Capcom Double Impact collection, which you can buy on the Xbox One via backwards cat. But it's one of the few ones you can buy via back cat. Basically, let the weapons charge. And basically, I want to free my allies. So, let's see. I think this is the girls. So, I'll take her with me. Evacuate me. Yeah, not the best. Just actually, I won't rescue everyone because I'll save my keys. So Konami, I've always really enjoyed their older games as well. I was a huge fan of Konami and Capcom. Konami during the late 80s and early 90s were fantastic, and then they completely petered out. I mean, Capcom have petered out somewhat, but at least Capcom still seem to be doing stuff with their older games, whereas Konami seem to have largely binned them all. Okay, so here comes the Chimera boss. You got a falcon. Yes, you do upgrade your weapon as you go along. So the more keys you have, the more sort of vitality and stuff you get. You do upgrade your gear as well as you go along. This is a really interesting one, Magic Sword. The SNES version was a little bit disappointing because you couldn't... They reduced... You couldn't have a proper two-player. The SNES version, player 2 controlled the ally. In the original arcade game, player 2 is an independent character, but I think it was due to the sprite limit on screen for the SNES, they had to reduce it. Get over 120,000 points. He deactivates traps and he is good. Okay. The wizard was quite good as well. Yeah, the wizard's... Oh yeah, the lizard partner. Yeah, I've forgotten about him. Oh, no, I should have kept my partner. I lost. Let's go and be careful. Yeah, you got the lizard partner as well. Okay, I think I'm on my final hit, so I need to be careful. Ah, here's the thief. Your partners do level up as well, so... It's also worth just grabbing the items they drop. And yes, not every... There were a few warps, if I remember as well. It's been a while since I played this. Okay, thank you, George, for your support. Very much appreciated. Oh, I'm near. Oh, yes, hidden. I think this might be the exit. Oh yes, the thief shows you where all the hidden chests are. I think this means we've got a boss near, doesn't it? That sound effect is rather annoying. Okay. Okay, so who go the first boss? Or the second boss, in fact. Yeah, I'll take this guy down. Just because I want to... Oh, he had a heart. And we get another upgrade. Some of these early Capcom and sort of mid ones had some really nice ideas and upgrades. They did play a bit differently to a lot of the other arcade games at the time. So, like something like Magic Sword, the fact you have a sort of RPG system gives it quite a lot of replayability and actually works better in many regards as a home game because the amount of... There's a lot of really great hidden depth in this game. As I said, it is available on the Xbox One as part of the Double Impact collection, but it's not available on the Bats. It's not available on the PlayStation 4 at present. It is available on the PS3 though. You can still buy Double Impact. So yeah, some items you have to basically... So I've got to do this. Is a great collection, so... Oh no, I didn't want to get rid of the thief. That's the downside of opening the doors and taking the loot. Help me! Yeah, if you don't have keys, you can't unlock their doors. Evacuate! And yeah, don't drop your weapons else. I actually get a bit of Breath of Fire vibe from this, actually. And yeah, you can't use your last key because you have to use it to open the doors at the end, so... How you use the key is something you have to be quite tactical about. That was a waste of a key.
Thank you.
I haven't actually used the wizard for a bit. Okay, I got taken out. Okay, let's see what I swapped to. Actually, So Avengers is on the arcade one. Black Tiger is also on the arcade cabinet. Basically, the arcade cabinet was released on PS3 and Xbox 360, and it's also, there was about 15 games on it. Black Tiger is one of them. It includes a number of options. Gunsmoke was on it as well, which isn't in this Commander X5. I think I'll do a quick game of Knights of the Round. No, I wanted to do King of Dragons, but I'll do Knights of the Round instead. Knights of the Round is one of my most favourite Capcom games, and then I'll do a bit more on Quiz on Dragon. So I'll do a quick 1 credit, see how far I can get. This is one I used to absolutely love in the arcade games. I think the best I've done is about the 4th stage on a 1 credit, so see how far I can get. I usually play as Percival. And this was, when it was originally released in the arcade, this was one of my favourites during the 90s. Now that one is worth 400, so that one's actually worth splitting. Basically, there's a couple of the treasure chests are actually better collecting full, and some are worth splitting to get more. There's actually a very hidden mechanic where each time you walk, that affects what the item that's going to drop is. So that's worth 600. And if you split that gold one, I think you actually get less. Okay, not a great start, I will admit. Ah, that's a dreadful start. Maybe you actually get 2 lives in this. Originally, most arcades would only give you 2, so you get the 1 and the... So if that was 300, so yeah, you get additional points if you actually split that one up. You hold back, so you can do running charge. If you hold back and attack at the same time, you do a block. So this is Scorn. He's the first boss, and he's also... Well, this actually sounds like a woman. Now, Knights of the Round is actually based on the Camelot film from about the 80s or 90s that had Gabriel Byrne in it. I think Sean Connery made a brief appearance in it. Basically, it's actually adapted from that. A lot of the things in this game are taken from that. Basically, I'm trying to X and Y Scorn. Never get near Scorn when she's recovering because you will take a hit. The first boss is relatively easy. The second boss is an absolute nightmare. I always struggle to beat him on a 1 credit run. Some of the later bosses get even harder. If you once, I'm always a bit dubious about people who once see some of these Capcom credit clear some of these Capcom games, because some of them they just weren't designed to be 1 credit clear, and you have to resort to some pretty mercenary tactics to try and beat it. So this arcade game, there are some you can clear on 1 credit, but they're not really meant to be cleared. So there are some arcade games, don't feel disheartened if you can't once see them. Sega had a TRC where their games had to be 1 credit cleared, which is why a lot of their games were a lot more balanced than, say, some of Capcom stuff. So I think, yeah, so that one's actually less. But this is probably... Oops, I didn't want to split that one. Oh, I just missed the horse, haven't I? This is a pretty dreadful run for me. But this is one of my favourite arcade games from the 90s. It really annoyed me we never got the SNES conversion in the UK as well. It did get released, but it was sort of a... Nintendo of Europe back in the 90s considered Germany often as the sole country in Europe. Okay, on the horse we go. Now I've got to be careful there. And so the horse has slightly weird controls because jump now turns your direction when wearing the horse. And there's a level up. So yes, you can level. This game actually has level ups, and the higher your score, there is a bonus item that you can. Effectively, there's a way to adjust it to get lots of level ups. Let me just took me out. Oh yes, that just about saved me. Now some of the items are preset from some of the barricades, others are not. So the Skywalker guys. Gonna help this guy. No, I wanted to split that. I do like the background of this one, the fact it's sort of a warring. So that one, that's the gold one you don't split because you actually get less when you split it. The rest, you actually get more. And basically, when you walk, it actually affects what items are going to drop from some of the barricades. Some, as I mentioned, are preset. So some will always drop certain items, but some are actually random. Okay, here we go, my most hated boss. Can I get him? We've got to watch is that when he gets up and when he does the charge, because else he will. Come on! Ah! Ah! Just because this is always personal whenever I fight him. He's one of my most hated bosses. That charge just does so much damage. You just got to try and avoid the fly kick. I got a bit excited and basically tried to rush him. Okay, so I showed you the proper version of the Capcom version of Quiz and Dragons, which you can access, which is the Capcom Quiz version. Here, you'll see there it says Square for credits, R2 for Super Street Fighter 2 tutorial, and Circle for Capcom Quiz. And this does actually have some of the bonus art. If I do 3 wonders, no, Eco Fighters have unlocked some of the. Oh, I meant to press circle on it. It's nice to get all the resolution changes now. And the Elgato is not a fan of these resolution changes during the stream. Oops. Just exit game. Okay, so R2 high score. If I press, so you press square, you get the bonus option, so you can set up the game difficulty for the Eco Fighters. Control, setup, save, reset high scores. This one, as you can see there, this is the PAL version. It does support progressive scan, the PAL version. It's one of the few PAL games on the PS2 that supports progressive scan out of the box. And if I press bonuses for the Echo Fighter, so you get 92, Distant Future, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Game developer Apparently, the game is also known as Ultimate Ecologic in Japan. The original game design came from a contest held in Japan. The best design was chosen. Now, I don't know how true that is, but I do know, because some of the facts are slightly wrong on this collection, but I do know Capcom did run a number of contests over the years, and those contests included like Mega Man contests. Some of the robots were actually, kids would send in their designs, and the winners would get their designs in the finished game, which is a really nice thing that actually ran in Japan. You don't get stuff like that anymore over here. So yes, we can open this. So you get the Tips Reco Fighter. So I've got the art, and you can actually see, this is quite a nice one because it includes the art, so you can hide menu. We can also zoom, although the scan quality, because this is on the PS2, isn't great, but it's all there. Yeah, the PS2's got quite a low resolution, so it's not as sharp as it could be, but in fact, I think the scan quality is probably about there, I reckon. Might be a touch, yeah, it literally is about there. Because then I can't see the... So it's not a bad scan quality yet, so there's full screen. Although I can scale that up to 1080p. So yeah, it's looking really nice, the art, as you can see here. Yeah, you can tell this is low res because the text is not that clear. Echo Fighter, so yeah, they got the logo there. And you also actually get the music in this one as well, so let's go back. I'm going to ironically delete. So let's look at the actual version of Quiz and Dragons, as requested by George. So this is, we looked at the Capcom version. This is the actual version. Let's see how good my general knowledge actually is. Give me a shout out. I'll read the... I would read the questions to you, but I know I haven't got latency. I've got a latency delay, so by the time I've answered the questions, they'll be off screen. But this is the actual version. Let's do can cause double normal damage, yeah, so that the ninja speeds things up on the playthrough. So here we go with some of the questions on Quiz and Dragons, the normal version. You've seen the Capcom version. I'm going to probably not fare that well, so...
Question 1.
Which of the following is an example of a primary consumer? Fox, snake, grass, rabbit. I think it's a fox.
Question 2.
Okay. In which film did Timothy Dalton make his movie debut? Permission to Kill, Hawks, The Lion in Winter... Wuthering Heights. I have no idea. I know he was James Bond. The Lion in Winter.
Question 3.
What scientific first formulated the laws of gravity? Newton. Which scientist first formulated the laws of gravity? What pop group was Bobby Brown in before he began his solo career? So it's not the Beastie Boys. It might be Beastie Boys. Run DMC? New edition.
Question 5.
What kind of art is Roger Mapplethorpe famous for? Roger Mapplethorpe. Gonna go with painting. He's a photographer.
Question 6.
Who designed Thomas Jefferson's home Monticello in Charlottesville? American history is not my strong point. When did the US begin bombing Lagos? Again, this is American history, which is the problem with this. You didn't see Quiz and Dragons. Let's go 1972. 1964, okay. Who will be thy opponent? How wide is the home plate in baseball? We don't play baseball in the UK. The home plate. 2 feet. Let's go with 2 feet. 17 inches.
Question 9.
What is the name for the tiny particles energy which make up light? Alpha particles or photons? I think it's photons. Yeah, so lots of American history in this. I would not be good playing this version.
Question 1.
Who was the first player taking the NEF draft in 1990? Yeah, this is very American-centric, and I don't watch NFL, but I'll take a punt at Jeff George.
Question 2.
Prussia was a former kingdom in the northeast part of which modern country? Germany and Poland. Prussia.
Question 3.
Which baseball team won the World Series in 1990? I'll go with Los Angeles Dodgers.
Question 4.
Which actor has been nominated for the most Academy Awards? Ooh, Marlon Brando, Laurence Olivier. I'll go with Laurence Olivier.
Question 1.
When did President state Eisenhower is, I think I'll go with 55. 1951.
Question 2.
The four former Talking Heads. What's the name of the group? Not my seat. The Artisans. Okay. The
Question 3.
Artistics. What food doesn't Alashofar love the most? Anchovies? Garlic.
Question 4.
What was the only silent film ever to win the Academy Award for Best Picture? Wish You Well, Graham. I should know this. Let's go with Grand Hotel. Wings.
Question 5.
Which of the following actors did not appear in the 1965 epic film The Greatest Story Ever Told? Telly Savalas, yeah, could be James Stewart. Let's go with Sal Marie. James Stewart wasn't in it.
Question 6.
In which year did Elvis Presley become a private in the US Army? I'd assume it'd be early on, so 1958.
Question 7.
Homo means what? Walking man or upright man? One of the two. Let's go upright man. I was going to say walking, but I thought probably upright. What is the name of the household dragon on the Munsters? Oh, the Munsters. Rover, Blues. I think it was Butch. Spot.
Question 9.
What baseball stadium is known as the house that Ruth built? Again, my American understanding of sport is dreadful. Tiger, Yankees. Oh, it's a Yankee Stadium.
Question 10.
The only one I'd actually heard of. Jamie Lee debut United, which is the title of her first movie. I think it was Halloween. So let's do 2 this time. Enter the flat field for stage 2. So yes, the questions in this are much engineered towards American history. My strengths are film and television, but from the 70s, probably not so strong.
Question 1.
Who kept a diary of her family during hiding? Oh, it was Anne Frank.
Question 2.
What was the original name of the dance group, the Supercubes? No, I did. Let's try the Tops.
Question 3.
What is the name of the cat in the comic strip Mother Goose and Grimm? I want to say Einstein. Let's go with Einstein. Attila.
Question 4.
What group was Boy George in before he formed the group Culture Club? Well, he wasn't in the Sex Pistols. The Rich Kids, Ultravox, Bow Wow Wow. I'm going to go with the Rich Kids. Bow Wow Wow.
Question 5.
The Pennsylvania Gazette was founded in 1978 by Samuel Keimer in which city? Name Pennsylvania is probably a big clue. Philadelphia.
Question 6.
During the Spanish Inquisition, which religious group was not persecuted? Oh, it'll be Catholics or Protestants. I think it's the Catholics. I'm going to say well.
Question 7.
Which state is Old Faithful in? Oh, another US question. The US guys would know on the stream, probably are shouting it out. Let's go New Mexico, Wyoming.
Question 8.
What country was Vincent van Gogh from? He was French, I believe. Well, he painted in... Oh, he's from Netherlands. He was in France.
Question 9.
Which country is famous for its beef soup called borscht? I think it's Russia.
Question 10.
About how many countries belong to the United Nations? I'll go 350. Oh, it's 160.
Question 11.
Type of movies. Which Man of 1,000 Faces. Action, horror. Okay.
Question 12.
Which of the following cities lies close to the equator? Jarataka or Singapore.
Question 13.
Most strikeouts in one season. Okay, so whether this is true now, I don't know. Again, take a punt at Reggie Jackson.
Question 14.
The Lewis and Clark expedition was ordered by which US president? Don't know the Lewis and Clark expedition, but I will guess at Washington. That was Jefferson.
Question 15.
Where is the US Naval Academy located? Oh, West Point.
Question 16.
What is the sunflower state? I think it's Arkansas. Oh, it's Kansas.
Question 17.
The Ulster Conference. Ooh. I'm going to guess this is after the war. I was trying to think of a big important date where they'd hold sort of major conferences in history, and I thought probably just as the wars ended. But yes, the questions on this are a lot more. I don't think you actually had... I don't think it got released over here. Who shot J.R. Ewing in the TV show Dallas? It was Bobby, I think. That was Kirsten. Who shot J.R.? What comic book character served as psychic to the Incredible Hulk and Captain America and was the alter ego of Captain Marvel? Well, I think it was Rick Jones.
Question 3.
Which basketball player holds the all-time record for most games played? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Whether that's still true, I don't know. What is the capital of Brazil? It's not Rio de Janeiro. I think it's Brasilia.
Question 5.
In the movie Back to the Future, in what did Marty in a DeLorean?
Question 6.
In December of 19, who became the first man to be on the feature of Cosmopolitan? First man, 1984. Probably Jagger or John, I'd thought. Let's go with Jagger. That was Boy George.
Question 7.
There are two types of chemical bonds between atoms. The ionic bond is one. What is the other? The ionic bond? Ooh. I went for dianotic, covalent. Television show Little House on the Prairie was based on the book of what author? I hated that show. Well, it wouldn't be Beatrix Potter. Laurel Ingalls Wilder. Let's go with Laurel Ingalls Wilder. That sounded American. Sometimes you take educated guesses. So I knew that one wasn't going to be Beatrix Potter. Let's do 2. You answer my question, I'll let you take a rest here. If not, you'll do damage to me.
1.
The following 4 movies were nominated for the... One of them was the winner. Star is Born on the Waterfront. Okay, Star is Born has definitely won an Oscar. Front. Let's go with on the Waterfront.
Question 2.
Will depend which version of A Star is Born. What is the Cornhusker state? Cornhusker, I think. Sorry, Nebraska.
Question 3.
Who played racing on the show Paper Dolls? I've never heard of the show. Eeny, meeny. Let's do 2.
Question 4.
Renaissance and art marked the end of which period? Wouldn't be the 18th century. Middle Ages. I'll go for the Romance period. It's the Middle Ages.
Question 5.
When was the first meeting of the New English Anti-Slavery Society? I'll go for 1832. I was going to say, yeah. The others were too early.
Question 1.
What is the name of the land that lies between the Tigris and Europa rivers in the Middle East? Oh, geography. That's where you find out how bad I
Question 2.
Mesopotamia. Okay, in which century was the first Star Trek TV series? The 23rd, I think.
Question 3.
In 1932, Lionel Barry won an Academy Award. Which year did his sister Ethel Barrymore win an Oscar? Let's go with 1945.
Question 4.
What is the real name of Captain America? Steve Rogers! Finally an easy one.
Question 5.
Which of the following movies does not feature William Dafoe? Wild at Heart. Streets of Fire he's in, because that's based on Dinah the Hunger, Wild at Heart. Let's go for Dinah.
Question 6.
Which of the following is not a rich source of potassium? I think it's carrots.
Question 7.
Yul Brynner appeared in all of the following movies. Which one of them earned him Academy Award? Oh, was it The Magnificent Seven or Westworld? No, it's The King and I. Do I say my film knowledge is vastly better, even my historical film knowledge from before? Yeah, Yul Brynner was a classic actor.
Question 1.
What is the real name of the rock singer? John Bon Jovi. Why do I think John Wilson? John.
Question 2.
But yes, the questions in this. Where did the animated character Toontown in Roger Rabbit?
Question 3.
What is the name of Casper the Ghost's friend, the Horse Ghost? Oh, I would guess Nightmare. It's an odd name for a horse ghost. On what series did Heather Locklear appear? Dynasty, Dallas. I'll go for Dynasty.
Question 5.
1 gram of fat equals how many calories? This is 1 gram, 9 calories.
Question 6.
June Lockhart starred in which movie featuring bridge dwellers? Trolls, Pookies. Right, it's not Kremlins or the Goonies. I'll go with Trolls. Because Trolls dwell under bridges.
Question 7.
What was the top-rated television program from 1962 to 1964? Get Smart, Belly, Jeopardy or Jillian? I'd go for Hillbilly. I'll go with Jeopardy. Beverly Hillbillies. Damn, I should have gone for that one.
8.
What year did the Woodstock Musical and Arts Festival take place? 71? Oh, 69.
Question 9.
Who was the first elected governor of the Plymouth Plantation? Ooh, I don't think it was John Adams.
Question 10.
What city in California is the garlic capital of the world? Now this I've never heard of. Berkeley, Gilroy.
Question 11.
Who is the teenage singer who only recorded her first hit song Only in My Dreams at the age... Only in My Dreams? Debbie Keeson, Tiffany. Let's go with Janet Jackson.
Question 12.
The concept of painting something more beautiful than what is found in nature. Expressions. Idealism? It's not expressionism.
Question 13.
When was Uptown Sinclair the novelist born? Let's go with 1878. Right, so my Capcom win knowledge is vastly better. Oh wow, I actually get all the vitality points. Come on, take me to the boss. Right, I'll beat the boss and then I'll wrap up this stream. So this is, you see, it's quite a bit harder, the actual version of Quiz and Dragons.
Question 1.
Before Midge Erda joined the band Ultravox, he was in another band. What was the band originally known? Tube on. Let's try the... That was Thin Lizzy.
Question 2.
What team did former Met manager David play for? I have no idea. Dodgers and Astros.
Question 3.
In the series Riptide, what was the Riptide? I assume it's... Riptide's normally a boat. Riptide? Let's go... Yeah. Well, it's a water. It's a current in the water. So I should... Who created StarTech? Gene Roddenberry.
Question 5.
How many times has the St. Louis Carnival won baseball's World Series? Cardinals. I'll go with 5. 9.
Question 6.
Which of these is a cranial nerve? Sounds cerebral.
Question 7.
Who is the lead singer for the rock group The Strangers? Oh.
Question 8.
What US president never got married? Ooh. Like James Buckingham.
Question 9.
Vincent Tracy appeared in all of the following movies. Which one of them earned him an Academy Award? I'm going to guess Northwest Passage. Captain Courage.
Question
Captain.
10.
Who assassinated James Garfield? John Wilkes Booth. That I do know. Oh, that's the other one, isn't it? No, he was the one that assassinated. In the movie, what kind of animal was Sebastian? He was a crab.
Question 12.
Which of these is a Japanese island? Nagasaki. Oh. I think Nagasaki might actually be. What company's motto is think? Let's try to IBM.
Question 14.
IBM in a motto. Which year was Joan of Arc tried to witch and burned? 1501, 1431, the earliest.
Question 15.
Pompeii.
Question
You need a
16.
really good general knowledge. Who wrote the book Cosmos and starred in the series of the same name? Try Ken Burns. No, Carl Sagan.
Question 17.
Which of the following is not one of the gifts received during the 12 days of gold? Plum puddings. So pipers, piping, swans, 3 plum puddings. Golden rings, swans and pipers are all in the song. Which actor directed the movie Winfield Walk? Let's go Rob Reiner. Oh, it's Robert Redford.
Question 19.
Which cartoon character is Leaping Lizards? Blonde. Well, it's not Homer Simpson. Let's go with Little Orphan Annie.
Question 20.
Which movie did Duran Duran get its name from? Rocky Barbarella, really?
Question 21.
Who played Lester Grubber? No idea on that one.
Question 22.
What album was John Lennon killed on when he was killed? I know Imagine was one of his albums, but I don't think Walking on Thin Ice. Yeah, I thought he released Imagine. So yes, my general knowledge on Capcom, my general Capcom knowledge is vastly better than my knowledge than some of this. Although admittedly a lot of these questions are very American centric, hence why I don't think I saw this one in the UK. But I am going to leave it there, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed this stream. Look at the Capcom Classics collection. Let me know if you want to see the first Capcom Classics. Maybe I'll do that on Thursday. But for now, I hope you all have a good evening, good afternoon, good morning, or good night wherever you are in the world. I'll wrap up for today. But I think Thursday I'll probably do another Capcom Classics. I've got quite a few. I think that Capcom Classics one, I might actually do a video on all the Capcom questions, even if there are a few wrong answers in there. But for now, that's it from me. I've been your host, this randomised gaming stream, Random Game Riven, and I wish you a good night, a good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you are. And I'll see you all in Thursday's stream.